Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Iron Pulse. This program is proudly brought to you by Sirene Insurance, Goil PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services Limited, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Now, this week, we engaged the Ghana Union of Traders Association as well as the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry on the 2025 budget, and we assessed its impact on trade, businesses, and also industrial growth. Let's take a listen.
Gentlemen, so let me begin with you, Mr. Mark Bedu-Abuaji, and find out from you your initial impression about the 2025 budget and economic policy statement as read out by the Minister for Finance about a week or two ago.
Well, I think it's a good start, let me put it that way, and obviously a very positive budget. Like any budget, there's likelihood that there will be potentials and risks as well.
Right.
So on the face of that, I think that we say it's largely business friendly. Looking at the content of it, maybe we'll go into details.
Yes.
But we are also happy that most of the, if not all, some of the proposals we made to the Ministry of Finance. In fact, every year before the budget is read,
You are consulted.
we are consulted and we are asked to make input into the budget.
Right.
So a number of issues were raised and inputs were made, and we saw some of them largely in the budget. But this is a budget that I think the main idea was to stabilize the economy. Because we've had a very difficult and challenging economic performance for the past 4 years.
Right.
And for you to move forward, the first thing that you have to do is to ensure that there is stability. Stability in prices, stability in exchange rates, interest rate trending downwards, and also taxes as well.
Right.
So for me, largely it captures a key component of these issues. For taxes, it's been one of our major concerns.
Right.
One is the number of taxes. Two is the rate. And
Rates.
three, rates. The rate on the taxes.
Yes.
And three is the complexity of some of these taxes. In a small economy like Ghana, we have close to 24 different taxes, both direct and indirect. And these taxes, some of them are largely nuisance taxes. Because they distort both production and consumption. A clear case is the e-levy. In fact, right from day one when the e-levy was introduced, the chamber strongly kicked against it. And we made it clear that this tax is a nuisance tax. It's not going to help businesses.
Right.
It's not going to help consumers. In fact, nowhere in the world that they have introduced an electronic levy and it's more than 1%. Our initial rate was 1.5%.
Yeah.
We advocated against it, and the last budget it was dropped to 1%.
Right.
We felt it should have gone down further or totally scrapped from our system, because it doesn't enhance production. It affects those who are manufacturing as well, because now people are doing electronic business. Yes. They are paying for raw materials, and they have to pay e-levy. And those who are also consuming also have to pay e-levy. So for us, e-levy, right from day one, we said it wasn't good and it should be scrapped. So we are happy that it was clearly indicated in the budget that the e-levy is going to be scrapped.
Right.
Then back on taxes, I'm also particularly happy about the fact that they are going to reform the kind of tax we have.
Right.
Especially the VAT. It's very complex. It doesn't enhance compliance. People are not paying VAT not because they don't want to pay or they want to evade.
Right.
They are not paying because of the complexity and the fact that some of them cannot even calculate.
Right.
If you have a VAT where you have combined standard VAT and a straight line levy, obviously it's going to be complicated.
Right.
The standard VAT simply means there's input and output. So usually, when you pay, your likelihood that the payment and what you have received, you can let it off. Either it's zero or the small one you have to pay, you pay. But the levies, the NHIL, the GET fund, and all those things translate into a direct cost to businesses. You cannot claim. So it increases the cost of production, and obviously, to be pushed back to consumers.
Yes.
If you want to fight inflation, you wouldn't want to have this kind of VAT. So we are happy that they are going to reform it.
Right.
My concern is that I was expecting a timeline on when they are going to do it.
Right.
Because we have had instances where they have said they are going to review taxes, reform taxes.
It never happened.
And it has taken years. So I was expecting that there will be a definite statement that between this month or next 2 months, we are going to have the tax reform. Because as it stands now, businesses are still paying.
Right.
We are paying the e-levy. We are still paying the this VAT that is so complicated.
Yes.
Another one has to do with the COVID tax.
Absolutely.
In fact, nowhere in this world, we were not the only country that was affected by COVID, but no country introduced a COVID tax.
Yes.
Now, you make an attempt to buy a product, go to a restaurant, and see the number of taxes that you pay. Sometimes 30% of the price that you are paying.
Yes.
And you want to enhance production.
Yeah.
You want to improve the business environment. This kind of taxes will not help.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they are going to reform these taxes and largely ensure that it enhances compliance,
yes,
ensures that businesses can easily calculate.
Yes.
And that is the only way for them to generate more revenue.
So let me go to Mr. Piakubi.
So looking at the gloomy picture of the economy
Yes.
for the past 4 years coming, you were expecting it's going to be business as usual, where government will want to raise taxes
Yes.
because we have debt to pay through the debt exchange programs.
Yes.
An economy that is bedeviled with high inflation, high interest rates, high forest rates.
Yes.
The obvious was government to come and say, all is lost, let me increase taxes to survive. But true to their words, prior election, they kept to it. They've able to deliver and define the meaning of resetting. Then we've moved from business as usual to business unusual. In economic recession, where government is not asking for new taxes from businesses, gives us some level of hope.
Yeah.
The budget, as Mr. Mark said, is government policy indicating how we want to run the economy for the fiscal year ahead of us. And in fact, we will look at a budget that want to address the economic challenges and to push economic growth. We want to stabilize the city. We want to give some kind of relief to businesses and also to reform taxes. And as we've indicated, we want to be competitive in the sub-Saharan African region.
Right.
So government upon government always seeks to increase taxes so that we can increase tax to GDP.
Right.
And unfortunately, we have not gotten there. And as part of the government reset agenda, it says, okay, let me give some relief to my people. We've complained over COVID-19
Yes.
levy. We've talked about the VAT system. We have also talked about emission taxes.
Yes.
We talk about so many taxes that cripple growth.
Yeah.
And true to their words in the budget, they've been able to more or less cancel some of these taxes. That gives businesses hope. It inspires confidence in the economy because the economy is run not only on economic indicators, but the, what do you call it, non-financial indicators,
Right.
like confidence,
Right.
where your words and your actions, they run in correlation.
Sure.
And government giving us that hope
Yes.
that what he promises, he will try his possible best to do it.
Absolutely.
And in doing that, one of the things that I saw proud to even the budget was cutting the number of his ministers and ministries,
Yes.
and giving directive on how his ministers should travel.
Yes.
And that in collaboration gives us an idea that the new direction that Ghana is going. And you could also attest to the fact that he has also reduced his appetite for borrowing from the money market through T-bills. That is an indication that the crowding effect that business have suffered over the period, because government over the periods always want to borrow from the central bank to do project or to take care of its deficits. This government has shown a new direction where he has reduced the appetite for borrowing from the money market. And in that way, you give the business people the opportunity to borrow from the banks. And for business to get capital, to ignite their working capital is another sign of business growth. Because if we're able to borrow, I can expand. However, government attempt to reduce expenditure through borrowing has not necessarily correlated to bringing down policy rates.
Right.
In terms of borrowing from the bank.
Right.
It has not actually affected interest rate, inflation as we're expecting. So there's a need for them to look at how they correlate this. So we're looking at the balance between the fiscal management and that of the monetary management. Over the period, they don't match.
Right.
When government or through the central bank want to arrest inflation through monetary policy,
Yes.
government also want to rake in revenue by increasing taxes.
Right.
And it defeats the purpose.
Absolutely.
So there's a need for them to look at how do we draw synergies between the monetary policy and that of the fiscal policy management,
Yeah.
so that we can achieve the intended, objective.
Yes.
Iron Port returns after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next.
Efforts to make Ghana's ports and maritime industry more accessible to young aspiring women continue to gain momentum. Earlier this week, the Conference on Women in Maritime Security in the Gulf of Guinea brought together 120 female students and dozens of local and international female maritime professionals to advance the agenda for increased female participation in maritime security. This initiative is part of the Enhanced Maritime Action in the Gulf of Guinea project, organized by Expertise France, funded by the European Union and facilitated locally by the Ghana Maritime Authority. Participating students included 100 students from 5 senior high schools, namely Laboni Senior High School, Tema Senior High Technical School, Accra High School, Accra Girls Senior High School, and Nungwa Senior High School, as well as 20 students from the Regional Maritime University. Following the conference in Accra, the students visited the port of Tema for a hands-on learning experience and engagement with women leaders in the port industry. They toured key departments where women have risen to leadership roles, including the Port Security Department, Fire and Safety Department, and Marine Operations Department.
He wants I can do spirit, someone who can come boldly and say that I can do this.
During the tour, Marie Gebrat, head of the Enhanced Maritime Action in the Gulf of Guinea project, spoke to Iron Port about the impact this initiative seeks to make.
I really hope that in the coming years we'll see more and more girls and young women joining in the Naval Academy at the Regional Maritime University, so they can be trained to be the next generations of leaders of maritime and port security, and years even later we'll have a more gender balanced leadership in the maritime and port security in the region, and I'm sure this will only strengthen the maritime security and the safety of our waters.
Also speaking on the importance of female inclusion in maritime security, Admiral Anne Coulaire, the highest ranking female admiral in the French Navy, encouraged young women to consider careers at sea and in maritime security, emphasizing the rewards of the profession.
So having young women in front of us, as we did yesterday, of course, is very enthusiastic, because I would love to tell them, enter maritime security area, because when you think maritime security, you must think that maritime security is about the lifeblood of our lives. Trade now is about makes up for 90% of our lives, and maritime security is about protecting this lifeblood. So you have to take a part in this, you have to be concerned. And also because maritime security and threats on maritime security might affect women's livelihoods.
Some of the students shared their experiences from the visit.
Coming to the port, the land we are on right now, and seeing the ships and the vessels, and then being educated on how they operate, and it seems very interesting to me.
This trip has been an interesting one, and I'm hoping to see this program being held for other people also to experience it.
I really like the fire and safety department. So seeing women there, she said earlier that 58 women are in the operations session, the preventing session, and the safety session. So seeing women there, I feel I have to be there one day.
A total of 675 students have been admitted into the Regional Maritime University for the 2025-2026 academic year, comprising 52 postgraduate and 623 undergraduate students. A significant milestone in this year's intake is the admission of 96 females into seagoing programs in nautical science and marine engineering, representing 61 more females than the previous year. This marks a significant step in RMU's commitment to increasing female participation in seagoing professions. This was disclosed by the acting Vice-Chancellor of RMU, Dr. Jethro Brooks Jr., during the university's 10th matriculation ceremony for August 2024 and January 2025 intakes held at the university's parade grounds. Addressing the new students, Dr. Brooks Jr. urged them to uphold the values of discipline and hard work, emphasizing their potential to shape the future of the maritime industry. He also appealed to the governing body of RMU for financial assistance to retool the university and improve student accommodation.
This year, this maritime education and training institution celebrates its 67 years of existence. Honourable Minister, as you are aware, with age comes body pains, and with body pains we frequent our visits to the medical centers. So too I can apply to our infrastructure and training equipment. Due to the regular usage of these assets, they have begun deteriorating and need frequent maintenance. We therefore plead with you to kindly encourage your fellow board members to make good their country financial commitment and support to the yearly budget of the university as approved by that body. With these regular financial contributions, the university will be able to regularly improve the lifespan of these highly needed equipment and buildings, and in some cases replace them without headache.
The Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, who was the guest of honor, highlighted the regional maritime university's role in the government's 24-hour economy project, particularly in training highly skilled labor for the maritime and transport sectors.
Another intervention that will go a long way to support the 24-hour economy and the development of indigenous businesses in the maritime and shipping space is the strict enforcement of the cabotage regulations passed in 2021. This regulation seeks to reserve jobs in the country's maritime jurisdiction for Ghanaian seafarers.
Additionally, he provided updates on the proposed $174 million modernization project for RMU, aimed at enhancing the university's infrastructure and capacity.
The project will bring about significant infrastructure improvement, including provision of training vessels to facilitate practical seafarer training. I am reliably informed that a revised feasibility studies has been completed and the loan application request has been made to the Ministry of Finance.
Representing the matriculants, Electra Abna Labi from the Nautical Science Faculty assured the university community that the new students are committed to making the most of their time at RMU.
The MV World Odyssey, a 175-meter-long passenger cruise ship and the world's largest floating university under the Semester at Sea program, has completed its visit to Ghana and is set to depart for its next destination. The vessel, carrying 672 students and 177 crew members, made stops at both Tema and Takoradi ports, offering passengers a unique opportunity to experience Ghana's ports, tourist attractions and cultural heritage firsthand. The ship's arrival and port arrangements were coordinated by Inchcape Shipping Services Limited, the appointed shipping agent for this leg of the journey. This year's Semester at Sea voyage began on January 5 in Bangkok, Thailand, and has since traveled through Vietnam, Malaysia, India, Kenya, and South Africa before arriving in Ghana. During its stay in Ghana, several state dignitaries visited the ship, engaged with the Semester at Sea leadership, and were treated to a guided tour of the floating university. These include the Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ablanjefa Gomashi, the Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamal Din Ali, and the Director of the Port of Tema, Sandra Opoku. The Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, emphasized Ghana's commitment to positioning its ports as attractive destinations for cruise tourism.
Our maritime industry is a growing one, and having this ship that is cruising around as a university and training seafarers, we are delighted that they have come, and it will be an opportunity for our students, the cadet students in the regional maritime university, the seafarers who are being trained, to seize this opportunity to enjoy the teachings and to enjoy the kind of working environment that this ship offers to them. So on behalf of the Ministry of Transport, we want to say to the Goil Odyssey welcome for coming to Ghana and being at our port.
The Minister of Tourism, Ablanchifa Gomashi, echoed this sentiment, highlighting Ghana's historic sites, vibrant culture, and coastal attractions as key advantages for expanding cruise tourism in the country.
In Kosombo, Water Lake is there. The potential in finding and improving on what has been done before is very huge. And I'm committed to join His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, who has indicated that our flagship program as a government is a Black Star experience, that we incorporate maritime and water transport, water sport, water, anything that can happen on water, that we take advantage of it.
The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, assured that Ghana remains dedicated to ensuring safe and efficient maritime operations for visiting vessels. Speaking to Iron Port, the captain of MV World Odyssey, Jean Christensen, praised Ghana for its warm reception and its role in the Semester at Sea program.
The cultural exchange, of course, will happen because our students are traveling around your country, so there will be actually the cultural exchange from our students with the locals. Also, we are organizing special programs, for example, with partner universities here in Ghana, so our students are visiting also universities here in Ghana, especially in Accra. So there is an exchange which is organized by Semester at Sea, because this is one of the key parts of Semester at Sea. And
with its Ghana visits now complete, the MV World Odyssey is preparing to set sail for Morocco, continuing its journey of academic exploration and cultural immersion before heading to Spain and Germany, where the semester-long voyage will conclude.
A joint operation by regulatory and intelligence agencies at Tema Port has led to the interception of opioid drugs worth an estimated 20 million Ghana cedis, which were purportedly in transit to Niger. The shipment was seized following a coordinated inspection involving the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Narcotics Control Commission, National Security, the National Intelligence Bureau, and the Food and Drugs Authority. Among the intercepted opioids were 26 cartons of tapentadol, 250 milligrams, 160 cartons of tafradol, 120 milligrams, and 40 cartons of Timakin tapentadol, 120 milligrams. The Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Akando, stated that while Ghana remains committed to facilitating trade, the country will not allow itself to become a haven for illegal opioids. He assured the public that President John Dramani Mahama is personally committed to addressing the issue and preventing the proliferation of such substances.
And the President has also committed that he is going to provide all the logistics it takes for us to effectively fight the influx of opioids in this country. So the law is clear. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. In fact, we are also looking at tightening our regulations.
The CEO of the Food and Drugs Authority, Delisi Mimi Dako, stated that the shipment had not been properly declared to customs, thereby constituting a customs offense and warranting its seizure by the state.
The consignment mainly, I think they were trying to hide these opioids inside. None of the products is registered by the FDA. There's no name of manufacturer also on the label. So it's everything, but you cannot tell where it's coming from. We assume it's coming from India, because normally when you take the strip out, you find made in India, but that is all.
Authorities have assured the public that all necessary steps are being taken to clamp down on illegal drug trafficking and protect the country's public health and security. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana have resolved to work more closely together to enhance the prosperity of Ghana's maritime trade. This commitment was reaffirmed when the Importers and Exporters Association, led by its Executive Secretary Samson Asaki Awengobet, paid its maiden visit to the Acting Director General of GPHA, Brigadier General Paul Seidu Tanyakuluno, on Monday, March 17, 2025. During the meeting, Samson Asaki Awengobet emphasized that continued collaboration between the two institutions would not only strengthen their relationship, but also contribute significantly to reducing the cost of doing business in Ghana's ports.
We are here to officially welcome you
and to reaffirm our commitment, the energy in which we used to issue that statement to congratulate you, to say that we at Importers and Exporters Association are prepared to work with you.
Brigadier General Tanya Kulono assured the Association of GPHA's commitment to engaging them as key stakeholders in the port business community. He reiterated that GPHA would work towards making Ghana's ports more attractive and competitive.
And now we are going to engage our stakeholders, and I'm sure we'll be engaging you to see how best we can come together and plan the implementation of the 24-hour policy here, so that the costs that is normally associated with what demorages and other things, which can be prevented, are prevented. So in the end, to reduce the cost of doing business here.
He further pledged to enhance cargo clearance processes, improve road connectivity within the port enclave, and actively engage stakeholders to advance the 24-hour port operation agenda.
I would like to thank you very much for your visits, and I would like to assure you that we will do our best to turn things around so that the cost of doing business here will reduce, so that at the end of the day, the ports in Ghana will be the preferred destination for all business, especially container transit and other goods.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Brigadier General Paul Seydou Tanya Kulonu, has paid a day's working visit to Keta in the Volta region, during which he inspected the site for the port project. The visit, aimed at introducing himself to the chiefs of the area, saw the Director General and some members of his management team pay courtesy calls on the Awemefia of the Anglo State, Togbisri, and the Dufie of Keji, where the port project is sited, Togbi Joachim Akolache, at their palaces. The Director General, during the visit, assured the revered traditional leaders of the commitment of government and GPHA to see to the fruition of the Keta Port project. Brigadier General Tanya Kulonu assured that the Port Authority will follow through with the project to ensure it benefits the area and Ghana as a whole.
The ports from which GPHA is trying to put up, the port of Keta, is on your land. We came with the intention to come and inspect progress of work on the ports. But as tradition demands, we cannot just drive through and go and inspect the port without your kind permission. So we are here, first of all, to seek your permission to go around, and also to request humbly for your prayers.
The Dufia of Keji, in his remarks, described the port project as a cardinal one which will immensely contribute to the economic advancement of the area and the country. He noted the people of the area are anxious to see the actualization of the project and urged the new GPHA Director General to expedite action in that regard.
It's a project that is so dear, not to only me as the chief of this area, but the people of the North and the Volta region. But I believe that this project will be a game changer for the people of Volta region. And as you have now come, we believe that with your background, we give the necessary matching orders to see how best this project will be fast-tracked.
The Awemefia of the Anglo State, Togbisri, while welcoming the Director General and his team to the area, emphasized the need for GPHA to work at realizing the project, which will change the economic fortunes and well-being of the people. He wished the Director General well and assured of improved and enhanced cooperation for the mutual benefit of all.
Welcome to Entourage into my plans. In fact, it gladdens my heart to see you together with your people. When the information came to me that you would like to visit me, I'm overwhelmed. And really, I was thinking 2-3 people will come. But we've come with the whole administration of Tema Harbours. I'm very pleased.
In a related development, the GPHA Director General towards the GPHA Unity Container Terminal in Kpong to gain first-hand insights into the facility. Accompanied by some members of his management team, the Director General was briefed on the facility by the authority's engineers.
Shareholders of the leading oil marketing company in Ghana, Goil PLC, have ratified the appointments of 9 directors to the board of the company at an extraordinary general meeting. They include Nana Philip Archer, a seasoned executive with over 20 years of experience in multinational corporations as board chairman, Edward Abambri Bawa, an energy expert as managing director and group CEO of Goil PLC, Dr. Thomas Kofi Menu, a senior oil and gas professional, Dr. Evelyn Lamisi Antua, a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Augustine Angad Dawo Esquire, a legal practitioner and real estate expert, Dr. Peace Mamle Yokotete, an educator and researcher, Afechi Awuno, managing director of BOST, Sylvester Kote, a highly accomplished and results-driven professional, and Dr. Kwamena Mintanyako, Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North constituency. Addressing the media after their ratification, board chairman Nana Philip Archer assured shareholders of the board's commitment to the efficient management of the company. He emphasized the importance of optimizing Goil's ultra-modern bitumen plant and gas recirculation plant to enhance profitability.
We have actually established a plant, bottling plants, and then the state-of-the-art bitumen plant in Tema. And so the thing is to ensure that we make this asset sweat so that at the end of the day, we make the shareholders realize the value that they are putting. Now, I want to add, or maybe to conclude, that for Goil, it's a very strategic company. And so we must do everything possible to ensure that we protect this asset.
The newly appointed managing director and group CEO, Edward Bauer, pledged to build on Goil's achievements and implement strategic initiatives aimed at increasing shareholder value.
Because fundamentally, for every shareholder, there are 2 major things the shareholder is looking for. The appreciation of the share value on the stock exchange and, of course, the dividends, payment of dividends. And these are the 2 things we'll be working towards to see how we can get them sorted.
He reaffirmed the company's dedication to innovation and sustainability in Ghana's energy sector.
International port and maritime news next.
The head of the world's biggest ocean carrier, Soren Toft, has warned that proposed US fees on Chinese-built ships and the companies that own them could raise container rates by 25% if imposed. According to him, if the fees come out in the present form, it's going to have significant consequences, which will compel the shipping line to either revise its network and withdraw coverage or add the cost on top. Speaking at a shipping and supply chain conference hosted by CNP Global, Soren Toft said ultimately the consumer will have to pay. Following on a Biden administration investigation, the Trump administration in late February kicked off a potential escalating scale of fines for using China's commercial ships. The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative plan is aimed at curbing China's dominance in the maritime industry and would also mandate that a portion of U.S. products be moved on American vessels. Carriers typically call at multiple ports as they unload cargo in the U.S. If they are charged a $1 million fee for each stop, Toft said they are likely to redesign routes to make fewer stops, cutting out smaller ports. Toft cited a World Shipping Council assessment of the U.S. Trade Representative proposal and estimated the total industry impact is likely to be more than $20 billion, potentially translating to an extra $600 to $800 per container. U.S. President Donald Trump has hailed a deal led by U.S. firm BlackRock to buy most of the $22.8 billion ports business of Hong Kong conglomerate CK Hutchison, which includes assets along the Panama Canal. The deal will give the U.S. consortium control of key Panama Canal ports amid White House calls to remove them from what it claims is Chinese ownership. On the first trading day after the deal's announcement, CK Hutchison stock soared nearly 25%. The conglomerate said, in total, the consortium, which includes Terminal Investment and Global Infrastructure Partners, will control 43 ports, comprising 199 berths in 23 countries.
Up next is the phrase of the day.
All risk clause. An all risk clause refers to an insurance provision that all loss or damage to goods is insured except any that is self-caused.
Health and safety tips next.
Life jackets. Life jackets are designed to keep you afloat in water. They will automatically turn you into a face-up position, keeping your mouth and nostrils clear of the water to prevent the risk of drowning. They are crucial for coast guards, water sports, mariners, and a must for everyone on a vessel where there's a risk of falling into water. Life jackets, while bulky and cumbersome, are still used today, specifically for offshore vessels where rescue may be delayed.
Now, schedules of vessels in the port, those at anchor region, those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates you need to know to clear your goods from the port next. Join us same time next week, and also don't forget to follow us on our various social media platforms on your screens.